there was one question that came earlier, which was about your course at the standard. And the question from Nikki is, how do you structure the framework for the course?
So I love that question, Nikki, because I recently got a feedback from a session that it was well structured. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is great. How did I come up with it? I went back to my filmmaking brain. So, most films are in 3 acts. And so I split my courses into 3 acts. The first act is about understandings, that framework, context, foundation, so that everyone is on the same page. Like, okay, so now we're on the same page, we can move forward. So first is foundation. Second is like equipment, right? So I've laid the foundation of my house, act 1. Act 2, I've got equipment. So these are tips, tools, wonderful kind of dialogue, instructions, etc. So for example, there's like 7 words or phrases to remove from your professional vocabulary. And then the third act is putting into action, right? So you've laid the foundation, you've got your tools, now you build the house. And so that's how I've structured it. And then in that final act, it comes to a nice kind of close, like a landing, where I talk about well-being and, just helpful daily habits and rituals, like saying no more often, but like different ways to say no. And a lot of introverts, we like to use the word sorry a lot. So it's a helpful way to leave people with some final words of guidance and wisdom before the close. So yeah, I hope that helped, Nikki.
Thank you. And so yeah, I know we're not trying to get you to divulge all your top secrets that you'll be sharing at the session. However, just to tease us. So you said 7 words to remove from your vocabulary. So maybe if you could give us 1 or 2 of those words, that would be helpful.
Hey, there you go. All right. So I don't use sorry, but I do use the word just. Just is a word that a lot of us put on the front of emails, sentences to request something, just checking in to see if you've got blah. Just wanting to know if you had some time next week to discuss something. And unfortunately, that word feels a little bit like an apology. It's like making it a bit soft and less forceful, even though it's not forceful at all to ask for something that you need in life. And so I would always say remove those from the starts of sentences. Verbally, that doesn't really matter, and I don't think we even use it that often verbally. But for some bizarre reason, on the emails, messages, instant messages, like we put just at the beginning. So that's one of them. Another one. I'm no expert, but a lot of people actually start with that. And you are an expert in something. And there are 2 ways, two approaches I always provide. First is to bring it back to where you are an expert in. And so, for example, you may ask me a question about astrophysics or physics or something. And I know I'm no expert in astrophysics, right? But I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is what I am an expert in. Well, within communications, we always have a simple foundation, which is what do we want people to think, feel, or do. So within this particular experiment, have you considered any of those particular elements? Whatever. However, that's element 1. Like I might be able to talk about where I'm an expert, especially if I've been invited to a meeting, right? Like, so you have a right to be there like everyone else. You were invited because of your expertise. But the second part is if you don't have anything to say, you may know someone who is an expert in said question or topic. So offer to introduce them to said expert. And now you're still valuable, right? Like you're a connector of people.